Hi guys, welcome to Soul Connections. I'm your host, Jo Labbé, here as part of Star Nation's radio network and Be Live TV. Welcome. Soul Connections is all about you connecting to your soul, to your spirit, to do healing work for yourself. Many of us light workers, we have the tendency to give to everyone else and we don't take time for ourselves. So this evening is all about your own self-care. And I also will be doing guided messages after the meditation. But the meditation is all about clearing and releasing whatever isn't serving you. So you can set any intention that you would like to on your own personal growth and your own personal healing as part of that. And as we gather here tonight, make sure you guys love and share the broadcast and get it out there into Facebook land so we can reach as many people as needed. Whoever needs some guidance and support tonight, I'd be happy to provide that for them. And tonight's cards are the Sonia Choquette deck, the Fool's Wisdom. And for those of you who know the Tarot, it's kind of taking the Fool card, which is the very first card in the major arcana, and that is the beginning of a new journey. So in all of these new journeys that the Fool has had, he's gathered a little bit of wisdom to help us on our path and on our way. So I got a message that somebody couldn't get the video. So I'm going to flip over here. Are other people are y'all able to see me? That would be great. And if not, I'll try to figure out a way to send this through Messenger. And I'm horrendous at that. So let me just see how I can do that. So give me a second, guys, because we have somebody who would love to see us. So I want to make sure that they can. Let's see. I think if I do it this way, and nope, that won't do it. Let's see. Is Carol on? Or Neshi? Nope. Let's see. Copy. Thanks, Rob. I'm glad you can hear. Thanks for letting me know that it's only it's only this one listener, but I want to make sure to get it over to her. So let me see if I can't get it. All right. I think I sent it to her. Looks like it anyways. So thank you guys on helping with that. So here we are. Mercury's in retrograde, so some of you might not get video or have to watch it later when you're supposed to, and that's just how that's going to work. I don't worry too much about that if I can help that. But here we are. And as we gather together tonight, what do you need to work on for yourself? Some of the big things that have been coming up for my clients, for my students lately has been this anxious feeling of going really quickly and still sort of being held back by the seat of your pants. So it's like you're trying to run, your energy's trying to run, and somebody's holding you by the seat and keeping you from going. So I've had some people having difficulty with that. I've had a number of people who have had things going on with relationships that have been imploding because of miscommunication. And there have been a lot of glitches, difficulties with surgeries, difficulty with communication, as I said, contracts falling apart, all that kind of stuff is happening. And I'm seeing it as it's serving our highest purpose. But it can be a little frustrating. It can create some stirring in our energy system, and it can make it difficult to sleep. So if you have any of that going on, make sure that you call in some energy to help you move through it, and so that you can return to your sense of well-being, because we want that for everybody, including ourselves. So it's 5 after, so I'm going to get started on the meditation so that we can dive into the readings, because I feel like it's going to be a rich night for that. The Ancient One was very active today in writing, so I have a feeling there's a lot to share. So let's take a couple of deep breaths. We're just really going to focus and ground our energy into this time, into this moment, to the best of our ability. And we all have our own way to ground, so you are welcome to do that in your own way. And if you'd like assistance, I'm going to invite us to ground with our heart today, so that we can ground in more than one dimension if need be, more than one frequency and vibration. So if you take a moment to feel into your heart center, you can invite it to connect a cord to your 3rd chakra, just below your rib cage. Grounding, centering, connecting. And then connecting our 3rd chakra to our 2nd, just below the belly button. Again, connecting from the heart to the 3rd, to the 2nd. And now creating a cord of connection from our 2nd chakra down to our 1st, near our tailbone. Allowing the energy to ground and connect. And then letting the energy go down each leg equally in our physical and our spiritual lives. And allowing that energy to go deep within the earth, to connect to the very center of the earth where the molten lava energy is, the heartbeat of Grandmother Earth and the Divine Feminine, and anchoring ourselves with that energy so that we are fully supported and held by the earth and the Divine Feminine. And inviting that cord of connection to expand more fully into the size of a cylinder. However you perceive that, experience that within you. Making room for the energy that we choose to release this evening, and the healing energy to flow to us and through us to help our energy feel more full, more complete. And we're going to also create a cord of connection from our heart up to the divine, to the Creator, to all that is. And connecting our heart and our throat. Stay grounded and connected. And then a cord of connection from our throat to our 3rd eye. Also grounding and connecting. Connecting from our 3rd eye to the top of our head at our crown. Grounding and connecting. And then creating a cord of connection that goes all the way from our crown up to the very center of creation. where our soul was first perceived. And inviting that cord of connection to also expand to the size of a cylinder, so that the original creation energy can flow to us and through us from the divine masculine, gathering and meeting within our heart center with the divine feminine from Grandmother Earth, coming into balance within us and allowing that energy to radiate outward in unconditional love and light, inviting the divine energy to surround and protect us in a bubble of infinite love and infinite light, setting the intention as always that the healing done this evening and the messages delivered will be for the good of all and harm to none, including ourselves. And we welcome in our spiritual teams, the angels, the guides, the ancestors, the star beings, the gods, the goddesses, all divine, of the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration available to us in this moment. And we begin by inviting the divine energy to begin to clear any energy near our crown. Any wisps of doubt or disconnect that we've had, any feelings of loneliness or abandonment that we may have carried here. And releasing any energy of interference from others that may block us from our own interconnectedness. And opening and expanding our third eye, our intuition, inviting all of our senses to work together in harmony. Opening the pathways and the channels of communication with our spiritual teams, so that we may see the clues and the cues from our teams, and to see others and be seen more fully. And opening our ears so that we may hear more clearly that which is being spoken to us. And so others can hear what we wish to express in our wants, our needs, our desires. And opening in our throat, the ability to speak our authentic truth, to release any tension, tightness, squeezing energy that we may feel at the back of our neck or around our throat that may have caused coughing or sore throat, or even anger and frustration to gather as tension in our neck and our shoulders. Releasing the energy on our shoulders that we've been carrying, the stress and the responsibilities for ourselves and for others. Making room for the giving and receiving that we can do with our arms and our heart. Opening the passageway in our spinal column so that our lymphatic system can flow freely. Releasing any held onto emotions that may be clogging the energy especially behind the heart, in between the shoulder blades. Bringing our focus and our attention to our heart, the opening, expanding of love and joy, releasing any sadness and disappointment, even shame that we may be carrying here, blame that we've carried from others. Expanding our connection to our inner child. Surrounding and protecting our inner child with unconditional love and light so that our child can feel safe and secure to be their authentic self. And connecting to our inner adult and releasing all of the doing that the adult gets stuck in. Giving the adult a moment of peace and tranquility from all the responsibilities and the doing that it has undertaken most recently. And connecting to our inner warrior with gratitude for how our warrior has kept us safe and advocated for what we want and what we need, and even for others. But giving the warrior a moment of peace without the hypervigilance, knowing in this moment, in this time, in this space, it is completely safe to do so. And connecting to our inner sage, the wise one, who connects us to our own inner knowing, the wisdom we have collected through each and every lifetime, and even to connect us to the wisdom of all humanity and all of the universe and beyond. And connecting to the energy in our solar plexus, our third chakra, our inner fire, our passion, our desire, our sense of self and who we are. Releasing any energy that is pulling us out of the present moment. Any anxiety or worry about the future or the past. Being calm and centered in this moment, in this breath. Releasing any fear energy that has shown up in our body or our emotions or our thoughts. Releasing anger and judgment, resentment. And releasing the inner critic from speaking those words to ourselves in our mind's eye. Allowing the organs to function freely and fully, back in flow, in sync with our body's own natural rhythm. And moving down into the second chakra and returning our energy to its original flow. flow in our relationships, flow in our communication, flow in our creation, our abundance, our manifestation. In all levels, frequencies, dimensions, and vibrations that we are able to do so. Opening the connections through the hips to allow all of the energy to ground completely in our physical and spiritual aspects of our lives. Gathering together once more into our root chakra, creating a solid foundation, and gently releasing any other fear that we may be holding, insecurities, sense of unease or imbalance. Grounding our finances, our work, our home, so that we feel steady and sure-footed in all aspects of our lives. Allowing the energy to flow down each of our legs, making room for flexibility and adaptability to all that is and all that is unfolding inside and around us. And as the energy releases deep within the earth, inviting the divine feminine energy to begin to fill with that warm, supportive, nurturing energy, beginning at our feet, so that we feel steady, held, supported, and connected to the earth and all that it is. Filling our pelvic floor so that we are filled once more with the original creation energy that we can use to move us forward in a multitude of ways, only limited by our imagination.
Yeah.
And filling up the spine and into the upper organs.
Yeah.
Releasing the anger and fear that we've picked up from others as well, to make room for love and joy to enter, self-confidence, self-worth. And calling the energy to fill in the lungs and the rib cage and the heart.
Yeah.
And inviting your heart to expand just a little bit more, to hold even more love, beauty, and joy, to hold for yourself and to share with others.
Yeah.
And filling to overflowing down your shoulders, your arms, into your hands as it moves up your neck. Filling your self-expression. And all the ways that you are uniquely you. And bringing the energy up through the third eye. Bringing clarity to your perception, through the crown and out the top of the head, all the way back to the center of creation. And then inviting the divine energy to pulse outward through each layer of your aura, cleansing, storing, and repairing the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual body, as well as your connection to your karma, consciousness, and all that is. And once again, releasing any energy that is not yours, and any energy that is not for our highest best. And filling our hearts with gratitude, we send healing to the Earth Mother for all that she does to love and support us. And to all the creatures who share this home with us. For the good of all and harm to none. Now I gently invite you to return back into the present moment. Begin to bring your energy back to your breath, to your heartbeat. You may want to stretch, yawn, wiggle your fingers, your toes, whatever speaks to you. Whew, that's always fun. All right, so tonight's readings are going to come from the card deck, The Fool's Wisdom by Sonia Choquette. If you would like me to pull a card, then please just type in yes, please, and I will pull a card for each person in the order that I receive them, which might be different than your feed because the sources come from different locations. So how they appear in the production studio is how I'll read them. And my rule is to read them until we're done. So don't worry about, you won't get missed. Just make sure that you ask and then you'll receive. So the first card this evening is for Rob. Here's our trapeze artist again. This is the Faith Fool. So the Fool's wisdom here is have faith. This card often looks like he's flying. It reminds me of that dropping out of an airplane, skydiving. But in this energy, he's still got that little bit of a hold. And he's controlling when he's going to take that leap of faith. And that all happens within us. So what I'm hearing as part of that for you is that, we have the safety net of holding on to what we've always been swinging from, right? And there's times when we really want change that we just have to let go and have faith that there's somebody on the other side to catch us, or there's a net beneath us, or we're just going to be like a cat, right? And land on our feet. And this doesn't feel like a huge leap in terms of, shifting for you, but it might feel like that. It's always funny how something feels like such a big deal. And then we look back on it like a week later, it's like, wow, why was I so nervous about that? This is all about that resistance energy that we have to change. We want it badly, but we can't always have it. We want change to. I guess I'm out. All right, there I go. Hi. I dumped out for a minute there. So Rob, here's your card, the Faithful. It's saying have faith, trust, let go, take that leap of faith. It may feel like a big leap, but it's really not so bad. So have at it, okay? All right. Hopefully we won't have any more glitchies, but Mercury. We love you, Mercury. All right. So, Andrew, your card is the Trickster. And the Fool's wisdom is get real. So the Trickster energy in this deck has an interesting flavor for me because it does have the Jack in the Box feeling. So, you're cranking something that is going to pop up and scare you, but you keep cranking anyways, right? So in that space, it's like just really step into the reality of you're the one who's cranking the box. And what pops out can be scary or it can be funny, right? Because for some people, the Jack in Box pops up and you just laugh, So in this energy, again, you're the one who's controlling what pops up, joy or fear. And so when you get clear on which one you want to have more of, that's what's going to keep popping up out of the box for you. All right. And if I were you, I'd be choosing joy and love. Just saying. But some people have a good laugh at getting scared. So there you have it. All right. Anne. So Anne, your card is the Power Fool. And the Power Fool is telling you to call upon the divine power. I almost feel like you might have gotten this last week. Some of you guys may be getting repeats. That's often because the energy is still extending out. These cards are meant to be for a week, but there's times when you're in that energy for an extended amount of time. So when you call upon the divine power, it's fill yourself with your own personal power and get yourself nice and centered and invite the divine to guide you fully. And I know that's something that's part of your regular practice. But, we're human beings and we get caught off guard sometimes. So we forget to tap into our higher self to help us through those sticky situations. And again, with the miscommunication that's occurring with Mercury in retrograde, especially in the water sign right now, sometimes we just really have to stay firm in our truth and not let anybody knock us over. What I'm seeing is, it's when you're powerful, it doesn't mean you're going to use your power to overpower someone else. It's that you're not going to let anyone bully you into doing what they want instead of you being clear on what is right for you. So go with that, sweetie. All right, Jackie. Your card is the Painful. And the Painful is one that's great for all of us. It's the face your pain. What is really not working? What is painful in your life right now? And, how has avoiding it been working for you? Most of us, we avoid conflict because we don't want to have that conversation that could turn bad, or it might mean that people get mad or whatever. Or we could actually have pain and we're avoiding going to the doctor because we don't want to find out what's wrong. None of that works for our highest best, right? When we aren't willing to face what our body is telling us, what our emotions are telling us, then we're not hearing our spiritual team. So we have painful things that happen in our life for change to happen and for better stuff to come in. And we might not be able to see it right in the moment, but I'll tell you, it's always better on the other side. And I sure hate to do it as physical pain. I don't know about you. So when it's just emotional, I try to take care of that right away because I don't want to be dealing with the physical aspect of it if I don't get to it, because that's how it works. It's a mental belief that causes us pain, then it causes us emotional pain. And if we still don't work on it, then it causes us physical pain. So I don't know about you, but I'd avoid that one. All right. Have a good one, sweetie. Maureen, welcome to the show, my dear. Aw, I love this one for you. So this is the hopeful. So the fool's wisdom is be hopeful. So it's using your heart, creating from your heart. Some people think hoping is wishing and pushing something away. Hope is that bright light, like you can see the light at the end of the tunnel and you're aiming for it. You're going for the light. You're going for something better. And you have hope and faith that is what's going to occur. And you know how to call on the angels to help you with that. You know how they work for you. I don't even have to begin to tell you about that one. But this is trusting your heart. It's safe for you to trust your heart. And it's safe for you to let love in. Does that make sense? So let yourself be loved and let yourself give love. And a lot will shift in the quality of your life. Even brighter, even fuller. Yay. All right. Enjoy that. Marie. So this is the lazy fool. And no, it doesn't mean you get to be lazy. So the lazy is when we're confident. We don't work, not that you don't work so hard, but you don't have to try so hard. So other people may see you as lazy in that energy, but really you're just self-assured and confident. And that allows us to have some time to breathe and time to relax and just chill. And that's self-care. That's not laziness. But that happens when we're confident and we're not seeking approval. So I'm seeing this picture of you in the past, like running from one person to another to get them to, give you a pat on the head. And we all did this. But now you're in this place where you don't need that. You approve of you, and it's nice when somebody else says something, but you don't need it. It's not feeding you anymore. And boy, that takes a weight off, and that allows you to be more relaxed. And that's what this card feels like to me for you. All right, Judy. Your card, my dear, is the Master Fool. So the Master Fool is, it's telling you that when we're a spiritual master, we use our tools. We let our spirit guide you, right? Your intuition guide you. So it's inviting you to become more in a place of mastery. And in that place of mastery, let your intuition be your compass, be your guide. And, whenever possible, ask yourself, what does my spirit say? Or what does my spiritual team say? You can ask all of those things. So this is, one of those things where, as you're becoming more masterful, and more intuitive, you'll notice that you'll get more information from your teams in intuitive hits. I hope that makes sense. So it's like the more we use our intuition, the more our intuition knows we are going to use it. So it sends us even more information. And that's really how you get to mastery, is that you listen to it as much as you can. And the thing that's been coming up over and over again lately is that sometimes we just need to be quiet. We can't hear our intuition when we're surrounded by all this noise and distraction. So if you're having trouble with that, then I invite you to find some ways to get quiet just for a few minutes, a few times a day. And that'll make space for the divine information to come into you and through you. All right, Kimberly. Your card is the Doubtful. Shiny object. So just because something's shiny doesn't mean it's valuable. So it's saying to doubt appearances because they can be misleading. And when I see shiny, my inner child calls people who have who are wearing a false persona shiny. You know, they smile and they look all perfect on the outside, but somehow something's off. So you're being invited to look for that because there's someone shiny around you. And your gut's been giving you little nudges about maybe not so much. But on paper, they look fantastic. But trust that intuitive hit of, I'm not so sure. Because I just keep seeing shiny. And I see this guy with like big white teeth and, perfect hair. And, they've got a sweater over their shoulders. And they're like, yeah. I would turn the other way and run. So just be on an aware state. That's not everything is, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. All right. Lynn. So Lynn, yours is the meaningful. So this wisdom is mean what you say and do. And say and do what holds meaning for you. So what this means is like learning to say yes and no. It sounds so easy, but boy, aren't there some people that we have difficulty saying no to? And how often do you say yes to yourself over someone else? That can be really difficult. And when you do say yes, make sure it's for something that you love and you want to do, not out of obligation. This is about choosing to do what you love and not creating these false obligations to do things that just are draining on our energy, draining on our soul, because we should, because someone else shoulds us into doing something that we don't want to do. So one of the best boundaries you can learn is how to say no. And you might not be able to say no in that exact moment, but you can say, I'll get back to you on that. I'm not sure. I'll get back to you on that. And then get back to them and go, something came up and I just really can't. And just be in that space. You don't have to give excuses. Remember that no is a complete sentence. A very lovely woman said that, and it just stuck with me this week. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to put anything after it. All right. That's a good one for all of us. All right, Deborah. Hi, dear. So your card is the Soul Fool. Very similar. Do what feels right. Do what feels right for your soul. So again, notice that we're having the same thing come up a bunch in a row here. Listen to what your soul's saying. Listen to what your intuition is telling you. Do what that is. Let your soul, let your intuition guide you. We have the most dis-ease when we go against what our spirit's saying. When we do things that just, because we don't want to deal with saying no to somebody, then we get caught doing things that we really don't want to. So I would invite you in this next week to reevaluate a number of things, a number of commitments that you have, and just check in and see which ones bring you joy. If you have a pendulum, I'd even pendulum to see, Is this for my highest best? Does this bring me joy? Just to double check and see, because that might be a way for you to start sorting out what your soul would like to do, because it gets to have some expression too, right? All right. Let's see, who's next? Troy. Okay, Troy, yours is the reclusive fool. So with the reclusive fool, it's saying step away from the world and seek solitude. So that to me is disconnect from technology. That's really find some quiet time, quiet space, and give yourself, your soul, room to breathe, right? We get so caught up in noise, and we get so caught up in distractions, really. You get distracted by our phone. We get distracted by our computers. We get distracted by the TV. We get distracted by the news, by other people. We have a lot of energy that comes at us, and sometimes we don't have enough stamina to block it all. So this is a time for you to kind of recalibrate to your own rhythm. That's how I'm hearing it. So you want to realign with your natural rhythm. And so think about doing things that are quiet, but also that that feed you, like read a good book, or take a tubby, or take some walk in nature, take a nap, whatever feels calming, because your nervous system is a little rattled right now from all of the overstimulation, really is what it is. Too much noise, too much chaos, too much fear, too much. It's like blowing a whistle saying, time out. I need a timeout, and take it, okay? Because you need it. All right. Ed, I'm going to read for you first. So yours is the color fool. And so in the color fool, it's keep it colorful. How you doing on using different colors? Have you been wearing a lot of the same colors? Are you wearing mostly blue? When was the last time you wore red or pink? It's not just about what you wear, but it's that we fall into the same energy, right? That we do the same thing over and over. And that's our comfort place often, but it's not allowing our soul to express all of its energy. So what I'm seeing is you're a rainbow, and you're only using like this many colors. So see how you can expand that. And it's not just about wearing them. It's about having them in your work environment and around you. You know as well as anyone that we want to use all of the energy that we have access to. So maybe this is also a time for you to do some artwork, do your own painting, because maybe you haven't done enough of that lately, some of that self-expression, because remember, all creativity ends up accelerating our creation energy, our manifestation energy. And you already know that, but I'm just reminding you. Sometimes we get busy doing, and maybe the doing is that it's time for us to get creative so we can create. And let's see, for Marge. Woo! All right, Marge. Yours is the forceful. I don't know if you're a Star Wars girl, but may the force be with you. That's definitely what this is. So the forceful is that all your true power comes from spirit. So are you calling in all your power? are you calling in the divine to fill you, to help you, to support you? You know, spirit has your back if you let it. And I know, you know, a lot of this, you know, some of this is, we know it in our logic brain, but are we embodying it in our everyday life? So how are you calling in spirit? You all by yourself. So what I'm seeing is you can call in spirit without Ed. Ed is very good at calling in spirit all on his own, but Marge has her own power and she should use it. Put on that tiara and call in your highest self and your power. You have the ability. You have the ability. I'm seeing you all in this Jedi costume with the tiara, Marge. So the force is in you. You just have to call it out. Oh, I love my team sometimes. All right, let's see. Christine. All right, Christine, yours is the helpful. So the helpful is you're so busy helping everybody else. Are you stopping and asking for help? And this isn't always with people, sweetie. This is also with our spiritual team. Again, this message has been big, and here's the same thing as Marge, right? Are you asking for help? Are you asking your angels for help? Are you asking your guides to help you? And literally say it out loud. Sometimes we assume they're mind readers, but we've got a lot of stuff swirling around in that brain of ours, and they don't know one thing from another. They don't know a wild thought versus our true intention unless we say so. And there are times where I'm like, come on, guys. I need a little help here. Chop, chop. And then next thing you know, there they are. You know, energetically, it's shifted, it's moving, and it's going forward. So don't be afraid to do that. And don't be afraid to ask the people around you for help either. And if they offer it, try saying yes. You know, my knee-jerk reaction used to be no. No, I got it. I'm fine. No, I got it. And instead I stop and I pause and I ponder, is there a way that they actually could help me? And I open up the door of opportunity for somebody to help me. And maybe not in the way they offered, you know, because I'll be like, well, I don't really need help with that, but I could really use help with this, you know. I was really busy today and my husband is like, what can I do? And I was like, could you do the laundry, like the towels? That would be really super helpful. Because I want to take a shower later and it would be great to have clean towels. And he was like, sure, right? So he couldn't help me with what I was doing in the moment that was feeling, you know, a little big and chaotic, but he could take some other stuff off my plate that down the road I wanted and needed accomplished too. Hope that makes sense. All right. Carol, I'm going to do you first. Sorry, I'm itchy. So the Fool's Tax is yours. So in the Fool's Tax, it's all about live and learn. So generally this means that there's been a lesson or there's a lesson coming up where you got to kind of cut your losses and move on. Don't hang on. Don't get petty. Just sometimes it's better to walk away from a situation than to win. Right. And cut, you know, I often, when I have something like that, I'm like, all right, I'm willing to put this in the karmic bank account, you know, which means either it's in mine, it's in theirs, whatever, but I'm doing a life write-off. I'm writing it off my taxes. I'm not going to deal with it anymore. I'll take a loss. It's okay. But I'm going to move forward. because I could spin in this for days, weeks, months, years if I just had to be right. Does that make sense? So if there's a situation like that where you're button heads, think about whether your peace of mind and your tranquility is worth more than being right in that situation. And sometimes we have to walk away from people who are toxic, and that's how we live and learn too. We cut cords with them and we're like, love you, but I am done with you. Okay. All right. And Dick. So yours, you guys must have an interesting week. Yours is the Law Fool. So the Law Fool is know the law. So if you have law or court or something like that coming up, know what you need to know. If it's not that situation, then it means knowing the rules. So what are the rules behind this, that, or the other thing? If you have a contract, look at every line of anything that you're signing. Make sure that when you're making an agreement with somebody, if it's verbal, make sure that the person tells it back to you so that there's not miscommunication. Yours is much more cut and dry. And I'm seeing it on physical paper. So it's like, make sure that you read everything that you sign. I had a contract that, I was ready to just sign, and something just said, read every little bit. And there were things in there that were like never discussed. It was like snuck in. And I'm like, no, not having it. I will walk away from this rather than deal with this kind of energy. But I was reading line by line, and it was interesting because they made the contract really complicated, so you would not want to read it. So be aware of that too. Protect your fanny, read everything, get it all in writing, and then reread the writing to make sure you agreed on the same thing. All right. Phew. All right, Angelica, Barbara. So your card is the Thoughtful, my dear. This always reminds me of Winnie the Pooh, because I'm a Winnie the Pooh person, where he would go sit on the tree and he would think. It was his thinking spot. So this is about think before you act. And some of us we have big hearts and we're very trusting and we're like, sure. And it kind of relates to what I was just saying with Dick. You say yes to something, and there's a hidden agenda or hidden agreement. So make sure before you say yes to anything, or even say no to things, that you give yourself some space to think through whether that's what you truly want or not. And if it's, then you're making your decisions from your heart space. Because sometimes we knee-jerk react and say yes when we don't mean to. And because you have such a big heart, you probably do that a lot. So it's saying, rather than overcommit yourself, stop and think before you act. And your favorite phrase will be, I'll get back to you on that. Okay? Because it's not no, it's not yes, it's the truth. And it gives yourself a little space to think about it before you commit to things. All right? That will work better for you. All right, Sandy. Hi, dear. Nice. So yours is the Bountiful, my dear. He's at this big table with all this food. So the Bountiful is all about living your life in balance. When we're in balance, then wonderful things can flow to us. the bounty can arrive and fill our table. But if we're too much in one energy or another, it can't, right? Because it gets caught. Just imagine, what I'm seeing is, wow, I haven't even seen one of these in a long time. So a pitching machine at like a batting cage. So you're standing there and it's pitching, and it's set on one setting. And you're the one who has to adjust to hit the ball, right? It's not adjusting to you. You're adjusting to it. If you're not standing evenly on both feet, you're not going to swing evenly. You're going to lean in. You might even get hit by the ball. So this is about saying, okay, how are you in your spiritual life? How are you in your physical life? How are you balancing work and play? Are you standing on both legs? Because if you are, then the bounty is going to come in like gangbusters. That abundance will just like pile up on your table. But if you're standing to one side or another, what the universe is trying to give you won't land on the table. It's going to land on the floor next to it. And then you won't be able to get it. Does that make sense? All right. So make sure it lands on your table. All right, Martina. Of course you can have a card. Oh, yay. We've got some of our comments back. We've been having trouble with the Be Live, but Cooper is on it. So I appreciate that. So yours is the Merciful, Martina. So the Merciful is about having mercy. It's about having compassion for other people and their circumstances, but it's also about having that within yourself. When we are in that energy of mercy, it's that we see other people as human beings, regardless. They're not a number. They're not a statistic. They're a human. And so when we treat them that way, then they're seen, they're heard, and they feel the mercy of the divine energy coming to them from you. Because we're all here to be messengers and messages for other people when they need it. So when we're in that place of compassion, then we're able to deliver the messages that people need to hear, right? Or need to feel. Even if it's just that you smiled at somebody who people have been ignoring. You don't know how much that can heal somebody, their will and their spirit. All right. Love that. All right. Let's see. I'm like, I think we're on Jackie. All right, Jackie. So your card is the Thankful. And really the Thankful is about being grateful. And when we're grateful, when we're filled with gratitude, our heart is wide open. And in that grateful place, we can really access all the things that bring us joy. I know that when energy is coming in from my team, they're bringing me things that I've asked for. I say thank you often and a lot. Because every thank you allows space for one more thing to come in that I'm thankful for. So it's why if you start doing a gratitude practice, each day, listing things that you're grateful for that happened that day, the list will get longer and longer because you'll be on the lookout for things to be grateful for. And then your angels and your guides will be excited to bring you things that you can be grateful for. It sounds like a no-brainer, but it's often hard to remember to do. Whenever I'm cranky and start getting into like that negative space, I start listing out loud as many things that I'm grateful for as I can. Even things you wouldn't imagine, I'm grateful for the green paint in my room because it's the paint that I chose that brought me joy. I'm grateful for my cat Ocelot, who's sitting here in the chair near me, supervising. I'm grateful for my son Nicholas understanding that bear is my totem animal then, and that of course I needed a pink bear to put on my desk because I couldn't live without it, right? So think about that and how you can tap into it this week, and let's see how that works for you. See what magic you can create. All right, Minnie. Woohoo! So your card is the Breathless Fool. And the Breathless Fool, I'm like, so your card is very different than Angelica's card. Hers was like, stop and think. And yours is like, stop thinking, start breathing. So if you've been like in that magical place of what if I did this? What if I did that? What if I, that's fantastic, except when it's not grounded and it doesn't take root, because then you're swirling, right? And it revs up our energy and we don't give ourselves space to breathe. And if we don't breathe, then the divine can't drop in. Remember, the divine drops in with every deep breath that we take. So when you feel that energy want to go, it's like a rippling, swirling, stop and breathe. And of course, for you, get out in nature, but literally just go, blow out all the old energy, because then it'll allow your true thinking, your true intuition to come in. But I'm seeing like a lot of joy in creating, which is great, but you want to be able to ground it and breathe your way through it, because the breath will bring it to fruition. All right. Thanks for joining us. Kimberly. Hi, sweetie. I'll do for you first and then Rich. So your card is the Ignorant Fool. And no, you're not ignorant. This is the Ignorance is Bliss card. So what this is saying is you don't need to know. There's that energy of, well, I need to know what's going on, or what's going, no, you don't. Sometimes we don't know because it's better for us not to know what's going on. Because when we detach from the need to know, we can chill out, we can relax. And that brings us a lot of joy. It's why I don't watch the news. I know news things are happening. And I see other people complaining about it, so I find out about things. But I don't need to know. And I used to get so anxious from all that inundation of other stuff. And letting go of the need to know has been so helpful. It really shifts a lot of energy and gets you back into your joy. All right, Rich. All right, yours is the Crazy Fool. It's kind of standing on the edge of the cliff there. But his card is get in touch with what you want and need and make it a top priority. So when was the last time you thought about that? This is what I need. This is what I want. And in a spiritual way. Does that make sense? So tap into your heart. And what is your heart saying? My heart says that I need this, and it may be as simple as my heart says, I need to drink more water. But when we let other people make our decisions for us, tell us what we need, tell us what we want, tell us what we should do, boy, we get into rebellion energy. Because that's not us choosing, and we're meant to be the creators of our own life and our own story. So as the creator of your own life, what do you want? And start lining yourself up with it. And it doesn't have to be realistic in this moment. Do you want to be a painter? Well, then what can you do every single day that honors that there's a painter inside of you? Right? And whatever that is, start lining up for it. It's never too late to change our lives. Never too late. And our circumstances or our past do not have to dictate our future. Ever. Live in the present moment and all that dissolves away. Woo! That's a good one for all of us. Thank you. All right, Lisa. Yours is the Beauty Fool. And this is just saying, hey, sweetie, you're naturally beautiful. How are you calling out the beauty inside of you? What helps you to feel beautiful? Is it wearing certain clothes? Is it, some people love to have like a certain scent, a perfume. Maybe it's wearing a hat sometimes. I don't know. But the beauty can be inside of you. It can be outside of you, you know? And so sometimes we feel beautiful when we're in a beautiful setting, you know, a nice, comfy blanket that we can lay on, having, you know, beautiful flowers. I love to buy myself flowers. I don't wait for somebody to buy them for me quite often, because I deserve that. I deserve the beauty inside and out. So whatever taps that joy, that beauty, that self-assured feeling, confident, do that, be that. Try it on for a week, see how it fits, and see how your life shifts by embracing that beauty, and release some of that self-judgment. That's somebody else's voice talking through your head. You don't need it. All right, Jackie. All right, yours is the Playful. So this is have fun, be playful, and do it, really. So our inner child needs play. And, you know, somewhere along the way, we decided that grown-ups had to be serious and they couldn't play. But a lot of people have kids just to be able to play with their toys, you know. So what do you like to do for play? Do you like to sing? Do you like to dance? Do you like to go bowling? Do you like to do arts and crafts? Do you like to swing on the swing set? Do you like to blow bubbles? Whatever it is, do that. And if at all possible, get a buddy to do it with you, because our children like to play with other children. Sometimes it's fun to go play video games at the arcade or go bowling or shoot basketballs, or do coloring or make jewelry, whatever feels like fun to you. Do that, because your child is grumpy. So, you know, those Snickers moments where you're like, rawr. That's when the inner child is grumpy. And hey, maybe to play is to bake cookies, you know, so that you can have something fun to eat with your inner child. So get out there and get some play on. All right. Karen, welcome to the show. So your card is the Cheerful. So it really is, just be cheerful. How can you bring cheer and joy in? And again, I'll say, you know, bring some play in. Watch some funny movies. Hang out with people who are light and bright and bring joy. this is about really tapping into that heart energy and laughter, lots of laughter. Things can be so heavy all the time, so serious all the time. And that's not how life is meant to be. So, we all have someone in our life who makes us laugh, or if we don't, we know how to find it on TV, right? We have our place where we watch, and, let that happen. Let that joy come in, and play with your inner child as well, because that will help. That will help a lot. All right. Thank you. Angie, hi, dear. So your card is the Graceful. Be graceful. Seems pretty obvious. But graceful, it doesn't mean, every time I hear graceful, I think of ballerinas, because I grew up a dance teacher, and it was, you just wanted them to look smooth as they were moving through life, right? Rather than loud and clunky and awkward. And so being graceful is about moving through your life easily. And we do that when we're filled with a lot of love energy, when we're connected to our flow, when we release worry and anxiety, and we just let life happen as it wants to happen. There's no blame, there's no shame. It's really being in that positive energy flow as much as you can and as often as you can, because that will help bring in that feeling of grace. And there's a fantastic book called Grace, Guidance, and Gifts. It's also written by Sonia Choquette, who wrote the deck. So if you Google her, it will come up, and it's a great little book about, it's got like almost prayers, I guess you would say prayers, meditations is how I experience it, but affirmations that help bring in grace, guidance, and gifts. And I love to use that when I am looking for something for my spiritual team. It helps. All right, Emily. Your card is the Petty Fool. And this is saying you are perfect just the way you are. Release any of that petty energy, that inner critic that's saying you're not. And when we're feeling insecure, we can get super petty, about every, my shirt, my shoes, my this, my that. And it's like, hello, let that go. Be okay with where you are right now. And that's also not allowing somebody else's pettiness to become part of our reality. Understand that when somebody else is being petty with us, they're feeling very insecure in their own energy and their own self-worth, and that has nothing to do with us. And just do the best we can to send them love and compassion. And either they'll receive it or not. There's not much we can do about that, but we don't have to receive the petty things that they might want to say. Does that make sense? All right. Let's see. Cindy Lynn, I'm just grabbing a sip. All right. So you have the Youthful. Sorry about that. Get my light easy. So this is all about living your life fearlessly. So, when we're young, we just do things. It doesn't even occur to us that we might get hurt. We just, okay, we'll try it. We'll jump off a roof or something, and then we learn, I can break bones that way. But this isn't about, breaking bones, but it's about how stuck we get in our life because we're scared. We're scared of success. We're scared of failure. And so we freeze and we don't move. So think about that fearless, powerful Cindy Lynn, maybe when you were a teenager who just strutted her stuff and didn't give a baloney about what anybody else thought and just did her own thing. That's how you want to live your life. Because when we release the fear, then we're in our love energy. We're confident, we are happy, and we love. But fear can block us from that in so many ways. So get out there, be fearless, and be that tiger or whatever the animal, I think it's a tiger. Be that tiger, be ferocious. All right. Margaret. All right. Your card, my dear, is the Righteous Fool. And so this is about when you are entering that energy of wisdom, be wise, but you don't have to be right. Part of that comes in as we each create our own reality. We have our own truth. We have our own reality. And often we want everyone to match our reality. And so that unwise person will keep arguing for arguing's sake, or they argue because they want you to cave and then say they're right. But when you cave, you step out of your own integrity with yourself. So the wise one can be like, okay, but not really believe it. You know, it's like being willing to, you know, rather than fighting over the bone, being willing to drop it and let somebody else have it because you don't need it that bad. So sometimes you walk away from those people who need to be right. And in that walk away, they may think they won the argument and that they are right, but you just know internally that you didn't cave and that you stood in your own integrity to the best of your ability. And you didn't have to prove yourself to anyone or anything. And so being right didn't matter. Does that make sense? So look for that this week. You'll have an opportunity or a few to do that. All right. Ellen, hello, dear. Your card is the Joy Fool. Time to get out and enjoy yourself. You're sulking at home. So get out there. I mean, even the puppies, your puppies in the card, jumping around and dancing with you. So get out there and do some things that bring you joy. Life is not all about work. It's time for you to have some fun playing. So get out there and play. How can you do that? And you don't need someone else to bring you joy. Don't give away your power that way. You can have fun all on your own. But if you want to have fun with someone else, pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, I'd love to play with you. What could we do? We could go out to dinner. We could, stay here and watch movies, whatever, but have some fun and give some space for your heart to have joy in it. And every time you look at that puppy of yours, that should remind you of that's how you want to feel all the time. All right. Donna, welcome to the show. So your card, dear, is the Fear Fool. And he's just hiding behind the trees. And it's just acknowledging that we all have fears. And if we can laugh at ourselves when we have that fear, then we can move forward. And the fears don't control us. We're controlling the fear. So when you have fear come in, you can, well, there you are again. Welcome back. Glad to see that you're still in the neighborhood, but you're going to do it anyways, right? You're going to do that thing that, you start to hear, well, what if, and oh no, and all of this doom and gloom. And you're like, okay, yeah, I've said all that to myself before, but that doesn't mean that's my truth. And I want something different in my life. So I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to try something new anyways. And we'll just see how it goes. And if you need help with that, phone a friend. Because there's always a friend out there who's willing to go, you got this. And if not, call me. I'll be willing to say, you've got this. All right. Because you do. And get out there and don't let fear hold you back. All right. Nick, welcome to the show. So your card is the Drunken Fool. So I don't know if this needs to be a literal thing for you about sobering up. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's, we've been hitting it a little hard, and maybe we need to cool it because it's got us ungrounded and disconnected. But often it is that we're being a little unconscious in how we're moving through our lives. We're not really paying attention or creating our life with intention. So when we kind of just whatever all the time, then our life will be whatever. But it's one thing to let things kind of roll off of us, but it's another to not be active in creating the life we want. So in the sober up energy, it's like, okay, you've had time to play, but now it's time for you to focus a little bit, figure out what you want, what you need, and start asking for it. Start moving your energy toward it. Because when we're in that drunken energy, we tend to blame other people for what's going on in our lives. Well, it's all somebody else's fault, or it's that situation's fault. When we sober up, we start to own our own mistakes, and we start to really look at, how we can move forward intentionally and how we can create our own life. I look forward to that for you. All right. Linda, welcome to the show. Nice to have you again. So your card, dear, is the Respectful. And the Respectful is just respect the natural flow of things. Understand that things come and things go, and that we really can't control all of that. And that, things are going to happen on their own pace and their own timing. And boy, can that be frustrating. But this is really inviting for you to let that energy be as it may, is kind of how I'm hearing it for you. And the other piece that's going with this right now is that you're very good at connecting to your intuition and letting that guide you. But honor the intuition in some other people around you too, because sometimes they'll get a hit before you do about something. I know it happens to me quite often. It's like, hey, I got this hit, and it's like, okay, and I'll check in with my own intuition on whether that message is meant for me as well, because sometimes it is, and so listen to that as well. And make sure that you are paying attention to the flow in your body too. Make sure you have enough water, and be focused on your breathing. Make sure your blood pressure is okay, because we need to respect how our body flows too. It really impacts our health and well-being. All right. Nice. Hope to see you soon. All right, Karen. Of course. Here you go. You got the Tearful. And this is not a bad thing. The Tearful is, it's okay to cry. Sometimes we need to cry because tears, they cleanse, they purify our soul. Our emotions are our radar for what's going on in our life and how aligned it is with our truth. And when we have tears that come up. It can be sadness. It can be disappointment, but it's showing us that things aren't quite how we would like them to be. And when we hold back our tears and don't allow them to flow, we're not allowing ourselves to have our true emotions. And we're also really stopping our inner child from expressing themselves as well. Because children, right, they would cry when they needed to cry and laugh when they needed to laugh and got mad when they needed to get mad, because that was their truth in the moment. And we trained ourselves. We were trained to stop doing that. But tears really let ourselves hear. It's water energy. I just always see them as purifying. And if you have trouble crying, find something that helps you cry. I'm a big one for watching E.T., that movie, or the Hallmark Channel. There's usually, something on there that makes me cry, and it'll get the ball rolling for me. My family, I have my husband, and I have 3 young men. And when they were living in the house, if I put on the Hallmark Channel, they all vacated because they knew I was going to cry and then I needed to cry. They didn't want anything to do with that. So try that. All right. Let it go. Let it flow and let it go. All right. Barbie. The purpose fool. Look at that target. Aim and fire. So this is all about living purposely. What do you want? What's the target? Where do you want to be? What do you want to bring into your life? And how can you line up your arrow of intention and set it forth? Focus. That's really what it's all about. It's about bringing in focus. But we can't have any focus if we don't have a target either. So getting really clear on what we want. Sometimes we can't think of what we want in the moment, but we know what we want 5 years from now. And so set that intention. I want that 5 years from now. And in this moment, I'm going to do everything that walks me forward toward that goal. Is this going to line me up with my goal? Yes, no. Yes, I do it. No, I don't. And that helps eliminate, that helps you walk your life with purpose and intention. And that's pretty big. All right. Good luck with that. Joyce. Aw. So this one is the romantic fool. Oh, look at the flowers. So this is all about falling in love with yourself. So that you can fall in love with life. What we don't like about our life is what we don't like inside of us. And that has been one of the most consistent lessons that I've dealt with over the years. And I will tell you 98% of the time, if I do something if I don't like what's going on in the world around me, if I start taking care of myself better and focusing on what I need, like rest and proper food and exercise and time to play, when I focus on that, then everything else starts to blossom around me. And buy yourself flowers. You don't need somebody else to buy them for you. One of the things that I have my students do is in their first year, is that there's a book that they read, and it as part of it, it's going on a date with yourself, because if you wouldn't date you, then nobody else would. So how do you, what would you want? Do you want somebody to bring you flowers? Then buy yourself flowers. Do you want somebody to send you a card? Then send yourself a card. Do you want to go out to a nice dinner? Then take yourself out. You don't have to do anything with anyone else. But show yourself love every day, and you will invite other people to love you the same way. How cool is that? All right. And for my producer, Cooper, you have the deceitful. It's saying, trust your intuition. Don't let the surroundings deceive you. Listen to your gut. Let your gut guide you, because that's where everything is located. That's how your team's trying to talk to you. So with that, everybody, have a wonderful rest of your evening. I hope to see you tomorrow night on Chakra Sessions at 7 o'clock. And we'll be talking about all things energy and also doing some more healing work. And if not, I'll see you here next week on Soul Connections at 7 o'clock with Star Nations. And with that, have a beautiful rest of your evening, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.